The applause echoed through the boardroom, until the CEO raised a finger. He didn't smile. Didn't nod. Just stared. Stared at the scale model of the company's newest achievement, a $200 million headquarters. A masterpiece of curves, light, and innovation. The room quieted. He turned to Marcus, the man standing proudly beside it, and spoke coldly. "This doesn't feel like your work, Marcus." The words hit harder than silence. Everyone shifted in their leather seats. Someone cleared their throat. No one laughed. "Bring me the real architect." The tension snapped like glass underfoot. Marcus's lips parted, but no words came. Not a single one. At the back of the room, behind glass doors no one ever noticed, a janitor paused. Her mop handle leaned quietly against her shoulder. Her name tag, Elena. Her hands, worn, calloused. Her breath, caught in her throat. "Bring me the real architect," the CEO thundered again. And then. She moved. Just slightly. Just enough. A hand, trembling, hesitant, rose from the shadows. Gasps. A few chuckles. A room full of disbelief. Because the hand belonged to the janitor. From the shadows, the janitor raised her hand. She wasn't supposed to be noticed. But that night. She couldn't stay invisible. Before she ever raised her hand. Before the boardroom froze. Elena Thompson had already lived 1,000 unseen moments. 6 years. That's how long she had worked at Strato's design firm. Not as a designer. Not as a thinker. But as the evening janitor. Every day, she slipped in after the lights dimmed. Every night, she cleaned the spaces where ideas were born, and where hers had been buried. Once. Elena had been someone else. Top of her class at a prestigious architecture school. Ambitious. Focused. Destined for something big. Until the phone call that changed everything. Her brother was sick. Very sick. She dropped out. Took any job she could find. Hospitals needed bills. And dreams could wait. But they didn't disappear. Even as she scrubbed conference room tables. Even as she emptied trash bins lined with crumpled blueprints. Her mind kept building. She found peace in the silence of the office. When no one was watching, she'd wander through the design studios. Half-done sketches left on desks. Renderings glowing on forgotten monitors. She didn't touch them. But she studied them. Captured them in quiet glances. And when she got home, she drew. Pencil to paper. Ink to soul. She reimagined every design. Improved them. Repaired them. Not for credit, just to stay alive inside. She kept them all. In a locked, worn portfolio at the back of her closet. It wasn't just a sketchbook. It was her private archive of hope. And then, one night, something changed. While vacuuming near Marcus Green's cubicle, she spotted one of his renderings left open on the screen. She paused. The concept was elegant. But flawed. And her fingers, they itched for something more than a mop. That night, she couldn't stop herself from fixing it. One sticky note changed everything. It was a small idea. Just a quick thought scribbled in fading ink. Folded corners. Crooked handwriting. She didn't sign it. Just placed it carefully beside the keyboard. Then slipped away, like she was never there. The note read. Shift the curve. Too much tension on the left. Let the light flow through. She didn't expect anything. But the next evening, as she cleaned near the same cubicle, she saw the new rendering. He had changed it. Her suggestion, word for word, had been implemented. And it worked. Beautifully. She stared for a second longer than she should have. Then kept moving. That was the beginning. Night after night, Elena left behind tiny edits. Little nudges. Quiet insights on post-its and sticky tabs. All unsigned. Marcus never saw her. Never heard her. But his designs started evolving. Sharper. Bolder. More human. Whispers began circling the office. Something's different about Marcus's work. Who's helping him behind the scenes? Has he leveled up overnight? He started wondering, too. Maybe a secret collaborator. A quiet admirer. He even laughed about it during lunch once. I think I've got a ghost in the studio. But late one night, when no one was around, he looked toward the empty hallway and said softly. Whoever you are. I need you again. There was no answer. Just the hum of computers, and the faint scent of floor polish. But this time. Someone heard him. This time, she answered. The janitor stepped out of the shadows, with shaking hands and brilliant sketches. For a moment, Marcus just stared. It wasn't a ghost. It wasn't a prank. It was Elena, the janitor he barely noticed, holding a worn sketchbook close to her chest. She didn't say much. She didn't have to. She opened the cover. And flipped through pages that breathed with imagination. Buildings shaped like belonging. Light dancing through open spaces. Bridges that looked like hope stretched in steel. Marcus leaned in, stunned. Each line was precise, but emotional. Architecturally sound, but deeply human. He didn't know whether to be ashamed. Or amazed. Why didn't you ever tell anyone? He asked quietly. She looked down. People don't ask the janitor for ideas. Marcus didn't hesitate. You shouldn't be mopping floors. You should be building the future. That night, they made a pact, silent, unspoken. He gave her access to his software. She shared her visions. He refined them, shaped them for presentation. They worked like mirrors, one reflecting precision, the other passion. Night after night, while the office slept, Elena designed. While the world forgot her, she created something unforgettable. Together, they crafted the concept for the company's biggest project. The new headquarters. Sustainable. Beautiful. Bold. When Marcus presented it, the room erupted. Executives applauded. Investors called it revolutionary. The CEO stood and shook his hand with pride. But as the praise grew louder, Elena's name remained silent. Marcus tried. Tried to tell the truth. Tried to give credit. But they brushed it off. It's a team effort, they said. You're the face we trust. And so, he stood in the spotlight. Carrying work that wasn't his alone. Marcus was now a rising star. Carrying a secret not his to keep. Spotlights don't always find the right face, until someone steps into them. The grand unveiling was a celebration. Flashbulbs snapped. Journalists murmured. The mayor smiled at the scale model like it was art in a gallery. Executives stood tall. And Marcus stood in the center. The CEO stepped up to the mic. He thanked the investors. He praised the vision. And then. He paused. His eyes landed on Marcus. I've known you for years, son, he said. You're good. But this is something else. The room quieted. So, I'll ask just once. Who really designed this building? A second passed. Then another. Marcus swallowed hard. His lips parted. But before he could speak, a hand rose. From the side. Near the catering table. Still holding a cleaning cloth. It was Elena. Still in her faded uniform. Still invisible to most, until now. Murmurs rippled through the room. A few people chuckled, confused. Was this a joke? The CEO narrowed his eyes. Who are you? Elena stepped forward. Not rushing. Not hiding. Just ready. My name is Elena Thompson, she said, her voice steady. I'm the janitor here, and I designed this. You could hear the air leave the room. Every face turned. Every voice fell silent. And then Marcus stepped beside her. No hesitation. She's telling the truth, he said. Every sketch, every idea, came from her. I just helped translate it. The CEO didn't flinch. Didn't dismiss. Didn't nod. He simply leaned forward. Eyes locked on Elena. Then show me. She didn't bring a resume. She brought a revolution. Elena stepped forward. And laid the sketchbook gently on the polished boardroom table. The leather binding was worn. The corners curled. But inside, pages turned like whispers. Each one, a revelation. Community centers with rooftop gardens. Schools shaped like open arms. Homes that danced with daylight, not just for beauty, but for healing. Every line had a heartbeat. Every shadow held meaning. She didn't just design with structure. She designed with memory. With longing. With lived experience. The room was still. Not a single interruption. Not a single breath out of place. Even the CEO leaned in. His voice was softer now. You design with feeling. Elena met his gaze. Because I've spent years cleaning corners where light should fall. I know how a hallway feels when no one cares. And I know what space can become, when someone does. No one laughed this time. The CEO nodded, slow, deliberate. We'd be honored to have you. But Elena didn't smile just yet. I don't want a job, she said. I want a platform. Eyes widened. A place to build a team. To find others like me, people with vision, but no voice. Talent, but no title. We've been overlooked long enough. There was a pause. Then, a murmur of agreement. Then louder. Then applause. But not the kind handed out of politeness. This time, it was real. The boardroom applauded again. But this time, for the right person. What started in silence became a movement. Months passed. But the moment never faded. The firm kept its promise. And from the forgotten corners of a gleaming glass tower, a new name rose. The Thompson Design Division. Led by Elena. Co-founded by Marcus. Built on talent once ignored, and vision long unseen. No filters. No gates. Just access. Internships open for those without privilege. Workshops for self-taught designers. Design labs where overlooked voices finally had room to speak, and space to build. It wasn't just about architecture anymore. It was about belief. Elena's story spread, across studios, campuses, entire cities. Not because she designed something tall. But because she stood for something deeper. And when the new headquarters was finally completed, it didn't just stand. It breathed. Natural light moved through every corner like it belonged there. Open spaces invited laughter, not silence. It felt like people were meant to be there, not just pass through. Opening day arrived. The mayor cut the ribbon. Journalists filled their notebooks. But when he stepped to the podium, he didn't talk about numbers. Or materials. Or budgets. He looked at Elena. And then said. This space wasn't just designed. It was felt. And sometimes. Greatness wears gloves, not a gold badge.